Alright, lean in, because what I'm about to tell you isn't your typical cop drama. This one's about life, death, and an answer that came from the last place anyone expected. Picture this. Phoenix General Hospital, 7:42 a.m., 20 doctors in crisp white coats circle one bed, voices sharp, faces pale. On that bed lies Detective Sarah Martinez, the toughest cop in Phoenix. The one criminals whispered about, the one rookies admired. Now she's flat on her back, hooked up to wires and machines, her body shutting down, and nobody can explain why. No bullet wounds, no head trauma, no drugs in her system. Just a healthy officer suddenly crumbling. The greatest mystery in the city was lying unconscious in a hospital bed. The nightmare started hours earlier. At 3:47 a.m., her partner found her convulsing on the pavement beside her squad car. By the time EMTs rushed her in, she was seizing, her heart skipping beats, her brain activity collapsing. The specialists lined up like soldiers, neurologists, toxicologists, infectious disease experts. They ran test after test, filling walls with charts and numbers. Every result came back either normal or maddeningly vague, and when doctors start doubting themselves, that's when panic creeps in. Meanwhile, at police headquarters, Captain Rita Vasquez was tearing through Sarah's case files, looking for enemies, threats, anyone who might want her dead, but nothing connected. No revenge plots. No suspects. Just Sarah's name next to every award and commendation she'd earned. The whole city was running out of answers. And then here's the twist: 3 floors above the ICU sat the county jail ward. And in one of those steel-framed beds was Marcus Thompson. Marcus wasn't your average inmate. 10 years ago, he'd been a paramedic, one of the best. Then came one bad decision, a robbery, and a prison sentence. But his medic brain? Still sharp. Still restless. During a routine check, Nurse Patricia let something slip. She told Marcus about the officer dying downstairs, the one no one could save. She rattled off the symptoms, not realizing how carefully he was listening. Marcus froze. He'd seen this before, twice, and it wasn't a virus. It wasn't a disease. It was poison. The next morning, Marcus demanded to speak with Dr. Morrison, the jail's medical director. At first, Morrison brushed him off. What could a convict know that 20 specialists don't? But Marcus pressed on. Listen, these symptoms? They're classic signs of hydrogen sulfide poisoning. Slow exposure, not fast. That's why the tests missed it. Morrison frowned. From where? There's no source. And Marcus hit him with the thought that cracked the case wide open. What if it's her patrol car? Exhaust leaking under the seat. That would explain everything. Suddenly, Morrison wasn't dismissive anymore. He called in toxicology, demanded specific enzyme tests. At the same time, the police towed in Sarah's cruiser. Mechanics popped the hood, and there it was. A cracked exhaust manifold and a broken catalytic converter, funneling poison gas straight into the ventilation system. Every shift Sarah drove was slowly killing her. Now that they had a name for the enemy, the doctors fought back. High-flow oxygen, antioxidants, hyperbaric therapy. Every weapon in the medical arsenal. For 12 long hours, it looked hopeless. Machines beeped steady but flat. Then just a flicker, her brain activity climbed. Her heartbeat steadied. Detective Sarah Martinez was pulling back from the edge. That same night, Captain Vasquez ordered a full fleet inspection. Out of 30 patrol cars, 17 had exhaust leaks, 3 of them lethal. Policies changed overnight. Monthly checks. Safety briefings. New protocols. All because one officer nearly died from the car she trusted. And upstairs, Marcus? He sat on his cot, no credit, no recognition, but he knew he'd saved her. Weeks later, Sarah opened her eyes. Weak, broken, but alive. Nurses called her the miracle case. Her partner cracked jokes, swore the precinct wasn't the same without her. And Sarah? She was stubborn. Rehab, therapy, endless exercises, she pushed through it all. By 6 weeks, she walked out of Phoenix General under her own power. But here's the part nobody knew. The hero who saved her wasn't a doctor in white. It was a prisoner in orange. Marcus went back to his cell, reading medical journals, quietly solving mysteries other doctors couldn't. Inside those walls, inmates and guards whispered a new name for him. The jailhouse doc. And Detective Sarah? She returned to duty with a limp and scars you couldn't see. Every rookie she trained, she told the same thing. Check your car before you check your weapon. She never learned who truly saved her life. But that's the way the world works sometimes. Salvation can come from the last place you'd ever expect. So let me ask you this. If you were the one lying in that hospital bed, would it matter who saved you? Or just that someone did?